Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Drew, and I want to wish you a happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, and today's theme is, what are your wins today? What are your wins today? Just because it's hump day, and just because it's the middle of the week, does not mean that you can't count your wins today. You see the play on words, I get it, right? But think about that. You're midway through the week, right? Today's hump day. Most people are shifting into the relaxation gears, ready to start looking towards Thursday and Friday and back to the weekend, right? But realistically, if you've had a magnificent Monday, and if your name's Drew and Tuesday's Drew's Day, you've done some great things to take care of yourself and prioritize for the week. By the time Wednesday rolls around, whether it's in the morning or later in the day, you ought to have a few wins to celebrate. Because if you're taking action consistently, you will have reports. You will have results to report. Now, whether or not those results are what you want or not isn't really the key thing. But the point is, by midweek, you ought to be able to have a checkpoint with yourself to say, what is the philosophy that I put together for the week doing for me? How is it serving me? Is my philosophy and my outlook and my game plan for the week something that gets me closer to my goals? Or am I finding that my actions don't line up with my intentions? Or am I finding that my actions are really being driven by what's truly my intention, as opposed to trying to keep up with things that might sound good when you thought of them, but really don't line up with what you want? Because one thing I can tell you I've learned as an adult is that people do what they want to do. News alert, news flash, people do what they want to do. You can take this in any variety of examples, but you just think about when do you become adult, right? Legally, you're an adult at 18, kinda. You're still a teenager, but all the way legal at 21. So 18 and 21, we can pick as two ages that introduce you to the adulthood, and they're all pretty much in that same age bracket. And you can do what you want. So when you're 18, you're done with high school, you don't want to go to school anymore, you don't have to go to school anymore, okay? People do what they want to do. You're in a relationship you don't like, you don't have to stay in it. People don't want to be with you, they'll leave, right? If you don't want to work at a certain job anymore, you can leave. You have the freedom to leave. Don't do what you don't want to do, and most people don't do what they don't want to do. People do what they want to do. So how's this have anything to do with Wednesday? Well, when you're counting your wins, one of the things you'll want to do is to count your wins, because I've talked about how the strength's in the routine and how you will gain strength by submitting to and committing to a routine, which is all well and good. But if you don't want to, you're not going to do it. But you're probably not also going to have wins to celebrate. And so I encourage everyone out there to go and celebrate your wins. We are in such a loud and noisy environment these days here in the information age that it becomes more and more critical that you need to have filters for focus. Check out episode 40 if you want a little bit deeper dig into filters for focus. But we got to filter some of this information out so that we can focus, because unfortunately it's easy to get drowned in nonsensical and excess information that's not aligned with where we're going. So you need filters for focus, okay? And then one of the things you can do is start to get that proper alignment with what needs to be a focus for you. Once you've got a focus for you defined and accurately dialed in, that's what gives you positioning. That's what places you in a position of power to start to say, hey, what are some of the wins I'm going for? If I've got focus, now I've got a better ability to be able to create goals. And once I've got the goals, I can start tracking those goals. I can start to track the wins, the losses, the results that I need to report on. Because until you have results to report, you don't even have any adjustments to make. You don't even have a baseline. So that's where the thought process is helping people identify what their wins are. And don't necessarily wait until the weekend, because what happens if you wait till Friday to summarize all of your wins and don't do anything to take track of them during the week, you might let some things slip through the cracks. You might not be celebrating the micro wins during the week that help to propel you and keep that momentum going, right? The last thing you would want to do is have a checkpoint on a Friday that's got no traction to the things that you've been doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because if you're not accurately keeping pulse of those activities through the week, you may see the culmination of your activities on Friday as less significant than they actually are. And those are the scenarios that get people a little bit down on themselves going into the weekend and make you feel like, it's such a big mountain to climb. Let me just, sedate, as opposed to meditate and elevate. Okay. And that's not so great. So what are we going to do about that? We are going to focus on our wins. And that's one of the ways you learn to see better, is to be able to take those pulses through the day, through the week, to be able to grab and make sure you're in tune with your activities and your accomplishments. Those simple activities and habits, that simple action, that simple habit building can be something so significant in helping you to recognize your own greatness starting to shine through. So whether it was, hey, I walked around the block today. Hey, I ran a mile today. Hey, I ate Brussels sprouts instead of French fries today, right? All it needs to be is you taking note of the mini wins, M-I-N-I, as in miniature, as in small. And if you keep doing that, you'll look up and all of a sudden you have many wins. M-A-N-Y, many wins, as an abundance of wins. And little wins are big wins. Whether you win by a point or you win by 50, it's still a notch in the W column. So keep that in mind. Don't think you need a blowout victory just to get ranked in the stats, right? Just to be able to show a winning record. You might be 12-0 on the season and every game was won by a field goal or a point or a basket, whatever. But if you are adding up those goals, if you're adding up those wins throughout the week, then you've got a means by which you can say, hey, you know what? Hump day, I do feel like I'm getting over the hump. I'm getting over the hump of obstacles. I'm getting over the hump of objections, and I'm moving into the progress zone. I'm moving into the accomplishment zone. I'm moving into the acceleration zone. Once you start to go downhill, you pick up the pace, right? So that's what I wanted to share today. Just a little quick nugget of wisdom about celebrating your wins. And really, if you step back, celebrate your wins any time in the week, but midweek is a great time. What are your wins today? Think of it as a winning Wednesday, a working Wednesday. I'm working towards my wins today. Do any kind of play on words to work for you, right? I'm a life hacker. I'm figuring out little things here and there that just enhance the life that I'm living. And sometimes it's just outwitting the devil. And sometimes it's being a little bit smarter than what the situation is that can give you the ability to propel forward with an unfair advantage. So take that, celebrate some wins today, and go forth and prosper. So I'm in here, I'm over here rooting for you guys in my corner, and I just wish for you to all go out and achieve the greatness that exists within you today. Take care, everyone. See ya.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.